poetry, radio, verse. It's all about the D. Desire, discipline, dedication. I know what you were thinking, savages, but that ain't it. Let's go. From Chicago, Illinois, the one and only Mr. Blaq Ice.
Not just playing music, but playing the crowd. It makes you live beyond your normal, natural life. Focus on being the greatest you that you can be, whatever that is.
Welcome, welcome, and welcome. I am James Hamilton, and this is Versed, your home for poetry on the radio. And now, let's jump back in with my ongoing conversation with Blaq Ice. And we got Eye Inspiration in the house from Racine, Wisconsin. I love it. So we had Aubrey Barnes and King Musa on last season. And Musa, I think, is the one that coined the phrase,
Musa.
right?
Yeah, he works as a community organizer.
There you
That's
go.
his
Yeah.
full-time job, but he's also a poet and a rapper. So he called himself an artivist.
There you go.
Artivist. Like,
Yeah, but he's been applying
I can see him
that.
smiling over there. I was
Yeah,
like, "Ooh,
no,
he's gonna-
use that. But you got to credit King Musa because artivist,
yeah.
he came up with that,
Yeah.
and I've been applying it to a lot of people because there are a lot of artivists out there.
And,
I like
and we
that.
need more of it today.
Correct.
There's so much going on today that,
Now,
Well,
again,
yeah.
and again, we don't knock people
No.
who don't have that desire or that passion to do those things, because there are some people like Michael Jordan. I mean, we love him, but he never really spoke out about a lot of issues. And he was criticized. LeBron James, of course, we don't compare him to Jordan. No comparison.
Ever.
But LeBron James
Thank you.
stood out there on issues. He organized the players. There was unions before he came, but he took his power and his influence and he organized people to accomplish something that was beneficial for the whole community.
You know who the president of the NBA Players Association is?
Who is it?
Fred Van Vliet from Rockford, Illinois.
Nice.
Just had to put that in.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
is.
He was the Toronto Raptor at first, right?
Right.
He was the Toronto
who
Raptors that
won
put
the
my
championship.
that put
Did
my
he help,
Bucks out a couple years
Did
ago.
he help
yeah.
write the Rockford Files? Or?
Oh man.
Let me-
Inspiration.
I think Eye Inspiration been sitting on that joke since the last time he was here. I love it. I love it. So talk a little bit about the mentorship that you provide. And if you want to chime in on this too, the mentorship that you guys provide to poets that are just coming in and coming up. Tell me about
Yeah,
it.
yeah. So, in addition to what we do out there in the community for the youth, we also do it for the artists as well. So I've spent hours on the phone with Eye Inspiration, who just, wanted to just dig into my brain about ways that he can get better and some things that, he could implement. He has implemented those things, and he has worked with members of the Wisconsin chapter, and he has shared things that he has learned throughout the way with them. I've had other artists reach out to me just recently, Dasha, and I'm just talking about from
Right.
Wisconsin. I've had Treva reach out to me. I've had, and they've asked me those questions, and I spoke to them from the perspective of an experienced teacher, and I've spoke to them from the perspective of an entertainer, not as a poet. Because you got that. You know how to write poetry. You know how to recite poetry, but do you know how to control an audience of people? So let me give you guys something for free. This is how you control an unruly audience, right? I've had people go before me who lost the crowd. The crowd was talking. They was unruly, whatever case might be. How can I get this crowd under control? I'll go up on stage and I'm like, let's have one moment of silence for everybody that we've lost this year. Can I have your attention over there? Let me have just one moment of silence for everybody that we've lost this year. Everybody respect that.
Right.
Right.
Once you
Mutual
got the
ground.
silence, you give it a second or two, and then you break that silence with your poem. You change the energy and the spirit. We keep talking about energy and spirit. Everything is energy and everything is spirit. When you can control that energy and can control that spirit, then it's up to you as to how long you can hold it. But you can shift it.
Right.
You can shift it, and you've seen it done. People who come on after you or people who come on before you, and you came to do one poem, and they did something right before you. It's like, man, I got to change the poem I'm going to do now. I'm going to do this poem instead because you saw the crowd shifting, the energy shifting, the spirit shifting. So
silence is the foundation, and everything else that comes after that is built on that.
So Black Ice, the movie The Right Stuff, you know where the title comes from?
The who?
The movie The Right Stuff.
Oh, The Right Stuff. Okay, good.
So the title comes from, they said that about pilots. Certain pilots, test pilots, fighter pilots, the top ones, have instincts that ordinary pilots, ordinary people don't have.
Yes.
As an entertainer, you're showing you've got the right stuff. You've got that instinct where you can do something new and it's right. That's that talent.
And again, you may hear the tone of someone who's very confident, and it may be confused as arrogance. And over the years, it has been confused as arrogance. And the fact that I'm able to step aside and let other people shine, National Spoken Word Awards is not about Black Ice. It's about the community. It's a legacy. If you ask Alexa today, Alexa, who founded the National Spoken Word Award? My name is there. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
But the legacy is more so in me knowing and understanding. It's me. I'm not going to say her name no more because she jumped in. But
that was Alexa.
Yep. It was.
Wild.
Yep.
yeah. So
Beautiful.
So the
It's
thing.
a happy little accident.
I know, right? This thing is about when I'm no longer here and I'm gone, and I think about those times and I think about those moments because it's a reality. It's going to happen.
Right.
How can I still affect this community although I'm no longer here? Poet Radio can exist without me. I've trained everybody who hosts a show on Poet Radio. I personally trained them. I trained the person who runs the switchboard because God put me in a position to create, not necessarily to run it, but to create it. So I'm not running the Wisconsin chapter. Inspiration is running it. I created it. But he's running it. And that's what it's about because I may not, I don't know how much time I have, but these things should be able to continue without me being there.
And, that's a common thread that I notice with, your civic stuff and the work with the city of Chicago and now Poet. There is no selfishness there at all. Like when it comes to you. What you put out there, I didn't hear you once when we were talking about Chicago or naming the road or anything like that. It's always the community, the individual, the group, the other artist, the children, the people I teach, the history. Something else is always taking center stage on top of that. It is noticed and it is appreciated as the leader of our organization. And then I, coming in and, like you said, running Wisconsin, you are the great facilitator. You are the guy that, if I need to put somebody with somebody, I just say, call I. He will not only keep you on the phone longer than you want to be on the phone, but he will put you in touch with the people that you need to be in touch with.
And and the thing about this, and hopefully he takes this the right way, but he wasn't the best choice to lead a Wisconsin chapter
I agreed with
in
that
the
one.
form of certain skills and certain gifts.
Okay.
Right? But he was the best person when it comes to his loyalty. See, these are characteristics that you can't find in artistry.
Right.
When it comes to his commitment, when it comes to his persistence, when it comes to his loyalty, those things, we're going to have setbacks because I'm pretty sure at some point in time he questioned, well, man, Ice, where are all these Poet members that used to be in Poet that are no longer in Poet anymore? Why did they leave? That's the normal question that people will ask. What did you do? Why did they leave? And I told him a couple of weeks ago, I said, now you get a chance to see some of the things that I had experienced over the years. It don't necessarily have to be nothing that you have done
Right.
personally to people. But some people come for specific reasons. I want to use you for everything that I can get up out of you. And when I can't get anything up out of you no more, then I'm going to go find somebody else
Move
that I
on.
can suck on. When I'm creating you flyers, these are poet members. I'm teaching you, I'm giving you all these things, giving you opportunities to host your own show or be a co-host on the show. I haven't asked you for anything back in return for Black Ice. All I want you to do is feed back into Poet, which is the umbrella that covers everybody else for everybody else to benefit from.
Right.
That's it. You know what I'm saying? I feel like my cup runneth over, so I got enough in it where even if I poured some out, I'll still have enough for me.
Right.
But let other people in Poet that don't have the Black Ice opportunities, that don't have the James Hamilton opportunities, that don't have the I Inspiration opportunities to be able to gain some of those opportunities through you, just like you have gained them through me.
Right. And one thing I have to add about High Inspiration, we didn't mention one of his qualities. It's his love for the art.
Yes.
That comes
Yes.
out the first time you came down to Rockford. You weren't performing. You came down to see it. And I see that love of the art form all the time.
I have seen this man come to Chicago to support other people from Wisconsin and bring people with him to support
Right.
people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? In the Chicagoland area. And I'm like, are they going to do that for you?
Yeah, that question was asked.
Right. I said, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't want anyone to use him. You know what I'm saying? I want it to be a two-way relationship. And that's the hard thing, especially when you admire someone, you go leaps and bounds and above the call of duty for them, but it has to be reciprocal at some point.
Right.
Most definitely. What stood out to me about I was his heart and how he was humble. Like you said, in the beginning, you might not have thought he was the best guy for it, but you saw he had the ability to grow into the position.
Right.
And the early
qualities.
conversations that I had with him when he had first come on, that's what he said. He goes, James, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. He would tell me. He said, but I think this is the right thing to do. And we trusted you because your heart was in it. Your heart for the art, your fellow man, and you cared about the causes and the organization in general. So
Today, my son was asked the question by his teacher to draw a picture of his hero. And after thinking for a moment about who made the most De Niro, he drew a picture of me in the mirror. Came home and he posted it on the refrigerator door, and when I saw it, it touched me to the core. I was outdone. There's nothing more than a father wants to hear than admirations from his son. So that night as I tucked him in, I wanted to be crystal clear, so I sincerely whispered in his ear, "Son, I love you." And yawning with his hands in front of his mouth, he said, "Daddy, I love you too." As he laid in front of me, I was touched. It was like a needle had stuck me right in my arm and my blood was right in front of me, so I thought to myself, I wonder, does he really know for me what he has done? And does he know that I never could have been a father until he made me one? And that until he was born, I never really knew me? And that I didn't know a damn thing about responsibility until he gave it to me? And that until he was born, my future was kind of dim, but now that he's here, my life has been extended because even when I'm gone, I can live through him. And although me and your moms don't get along, but that leaving you and your little brother in a house overnight was dead wrong, yet he was strong enough to take the time out to take care of his little brother. It's just a shame that at 11 years old, he had to play the role as the man of his mom's house. Yet with all these distractions, he struggled to keep his eyes on the prize while dealing with the everyday life of living in a low-income high-rise, not to mention dealing with his mother's addiction to drugs. But I swore on my life that he would never be a statistic or listed as a thug. So when he would come home with me on the weekend, I would help to build his self-esteem. I allowed him to dream and taught him just what it meant to be a strong Black king, and kept him away from all hurt and harm and danger, and told my son that you could be successful living in a low-income home if Jesus was born in a manger. But there was like this deep-rooted anger that reflected in his attitude, which caused some of his teachers to call me at home from school, but they ain't got a clue as to what he going through now. And until he found a way to channel his anger, it just kept on slowing him down. but I'm proud to announce that he finally got it under control. Not only did he win first place in the school science project, but for the first time in his life, my little 11-year-old made the honor roll. So when I think about all the obstacles, the peer pressure from the other children, all the slanging and banging that he sees in front of his mother's building, the drug problems dealing with his mother, playing the role as the man of his mom's house and taking care of his little brother. When I think about how far he has come, and despite all the obstacles, everything that he has achieved and done, my son may consider me to be his hero. But to me, my hero was my son.
So I wanted to talk a little bit about influences. It's one of those things, and you mentioned it a couple times about artists. I've got Miles Davis on my arm. Miles Davis is, a huge influence for me.
Yes.
And I'm also a big believer in poets having influences other than other poets and things like that. I know you've talked a little bit about music, rap, Motown. You throw a couple of nuggets out there. Is there anybody like your go-to, your person that you go to and go, when I'm down or I'm stuck, this is where I want to go?
Right. So before rap was here, I was writing poetry. Keep that in mind. I was writing poetry. But we used to be able to buy albums, and in the album was the lyrics to the songs.
Right.
I love those
So
sheets.
Prince was one of my earliest influencers. I write like Prince to this day. I don't write T-O or T-O-O. I write the number 2. I don't write Y-O-U. I write the letter U.
You got the look.
All that comes from Prince. That style, you know what I'm saying, comes from Prince. So Prince was one of my earlier influences. Morris Day and the Time. When I'm on stage, I think about them, what they would do when they would be performing on stage with the band.
Shimmy.
So normally you will see a person, when I'm in concert, you'll see a person with a mirror, holding up a mirror, and I'm fixing my glasses and everything, and then we doing like this, you know what I'm saying? All that came from Morris Day and the Time.
Right.
Now we shift to hip hop. Of course, LL Cool J was one of my earliest influences, but my biggest influence that still affect me to this day would be Big Daddy Kane and Rakim. It was their writing styles, double entendres. It was their rhymes within the rhymes, because before them, they were just rhyming at the end of every second line. Well, when Rakim came, he brought a jazz type style where it just wasn't 2 rhyme words. It was stop bugging, a brother said dig him, I never dug him. He couldn't follow the leader long enough, so I drug him. You know what I'm saying? So it was multiple rhyme schemes inside of the
Internal
rhyme. Internal rhymes and different things of that sort. That was a big influence to me, even still to this day. Although, you develop your own style, of course, after a period of time. But that influence still sticks with me and affects me to this day. The writing style of Prince, the passion of Prince, the detail of what he wrote when he said, "In a door, until the end of time, I'll be there for you." But there was another verse where he says, 1,000 imported Egyptian lace or something like that. And a lot of people don't even catch that part to this day. Like, who would think to write that? Nothing can compare to your lovely face. I was like, man, I learned how to talk to girls through.
A lot of us learn how to talk to girls through Prince.
Right. So those are my influences, James.
You know what's interesting? So I did a piece last year called Purple Chiffon. Miles Davis did an album called Tutu in like 81 or 80 or something. Prince was just coming up. And Miles had a great eye for talent, above being a genius with the horn in his hand. And he had a great eye, Herbie Hancock, all of the people that he gave starts to. Prince was going to play on that album. And it was all set up. And I don't know, listen, I love Miles, but people say he could have been an asshole. He could have been. I don't know. It could be. But apparently something happened there and the friction, and it didn't work out. But can you imagine what would have been to put the two of those artists together back then? And I wrote a piece about it. We might have it in the vault over there, Purple Chiffon, about that, what might have been. A stone cold demonstrative example of decrepit, defensive, and reticent. I am glazed melancholy in a sleeve of isolation, amazed at the power engaged in the frequencies afforded by a simple, subdued chunk of brass in the correct hands blowing correct breath. Grounded to wax, 1986, Miles Davis, 2-2. Prince-less sitting, but sometimes lunch meat laying, sore and scarring, remnant truths of blue funk spun, atropic to become, unglued like the ironic corners on the fitted sheets, sheathing this worn-out mattress in this worn-out room. I know the desolation synonymous with limp dick balloons that ruin every reflection of endless deflated days. Substantive, almost elementally omnipotent, depression lays camouflaged, permeated within dated shag, semi-gloss paint, and over-ripened skin. Depression, 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 obsession manifests in mindless time, spent thumbing through sonic tone babble, rhetorical discord rendered into 30-second reels. Wasted seconds, wasted minutes, wasted years. Time is the catalyst to create the spit I swirl in my mouth over and again in an attempt to clean the overabundance of emotional filth littering present future's tarnished view. Stagnant hues of angry faces in the shadows who all look like someone who looks like someone else but isn't. Monotonous sedative waves grind in and out of vector. Imaginary painted rainbow-colored piano key accented crosswalks lead to destination nowhere. By a river and down, down, down a hill, crimes of passion, crimes of faith, crimes of truth and lies waste away. Delineations dissolve into apparitions of past acquaintances. Shadow people talking tongued riddles speak from trash-laden corners through the night, explaining afterworld posture in next-world dialect. Unintelligible, fractal, disruptive parts of a page, playbill acts played from folded scripts, creased in a way to augment where the hinge was supposed to go. Bent is just bent, though. Peace is a deer cooling itself in a crystal water creek. Eastern sky, sunrise sleek, no forecasted rain, first time in a week. The smell of forest moss and silver nitrate in a gravel bottom puddle low and high. Crime in the shadows, crime in the wood, crime that never happens and crime that should. Criminal to knife through the air without trepidation or worry to breathe. What a shame, as carbon monoxide particulate poisons bodies and pollutes minds, but not mine. I fear I'm already too gone to save, but hey, at least there's jazz. What about influences that are not like music or poetry? Like you got a painter that you like, architect or something like that?
I would say now we're going to the activist field now. You know, the great orators. You know,
orator,
the Martin Luther Kings, the Martin Luther Kings, the Malcolm X's, Minister Farrakhan, the great orators.
Shirley Chisholm.
They play Black Panther Party. You know, they play some great influences on me, and I always used to just listen to them and the tone of what they said when they spoke. So when you hear me do spoken word poetry and you hear my tone change to emphasize certain things that are very passionate, and this was one of the things I was very critical about I Inspiration early on. I told him, I said, I Inspiration, everything can't be at the top of the roller coaster. Everything can be, I did this and I did that and this and that. You got to go down a little bit. Nice. And then you got to come back up. or else everything would appear to be of the same importance. Right. There has to be some things that are a little bit more important than other things in your poem. And I remember him saying, okay, I'm not going to perform this one this way. But again, it's just your opinion, and it's meant to help make us better. But I also, like I said, was influenced by those great orators in the way I speak. Even Barack Obama, you know, the way when he talks and he gets that, and I don't understand, you know what I'm saying? He gets to that point where he gets not forceful, but soft, but passionate. You will hear me sound like that in some of my poems and some of my pieces.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely has his own cadence and meter to him, as did Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, Martin Luther King.
Jesse Jackson Jr., I saw him speak at Columbia.
Oh, yeah. And I was with him a few months ago. You know, he's running for congressman again.
Okay.
We spoke, and his dad and I were up for an honor at that particular time by Cook County government. And I was talking to him, but I really have always been impressed by the way he was able to articulate himself, how he was able to speak and explain his mission too. So
yes.
So do you mind if I use your real name?
Oh yes, that's fine.
So we've talked a lot about Blaq Ice. We've talked about art. We've talked about rap. We've talked about poet. But the man behind Blaq Ice is DeAndre, right?
Yeah.
And DeAndre has done all of this stuff for the last 30 years, maybe. We say 25
since 1985.
Since 1985, working a full-time job in service to talk a little bit about
Cook
that.
County. Yeah. So let me break down the whole name. It's Tyrone DeAndre Hawthorne.
Okay.
Right. I don't use Tyrone most of the time unless I'm receiving a check or something like that.
Or in trouble.
But
I'm in trouble with the law. Whatever.
But yet he gets so many calls. Like, better call on Tyrone.
Right. And then I'm nominated right now for a 312 Music Award under Tony Hawthorne. And that's a childhood name that only my family calls me. And I'm like, I don't know how that name got in there. But, you know, as a person and as an individual, I have that life. You know, I have that life of, you know, being a father. I have that life of being a husband. And to be a full-time artist, and also at that time working a full-time job up until last Friday. My last day on my job, 32 years and 9 months. Wow. My last day was January 16th, 2026. Wow. So I am 1 week and 3 days from retiring from my job. My job. And I said,
congratulations.
Thank you. And I said to myself, it's amazing that I didn't get fired. All the times I left that job to go perform somewhere.
Oh, don't confess now.
That was an hour away. Right.
But time limit isn't up yet.
It's just a blessing, man, to be in a space and to be in a position where I can help so many people. At my job, I was a ward clerk by title. For the last 2 years, the leadership created a job for me as a patient advocate, part of the patient experience team. So I created different therapies. I created poetry therapy, where I would go into the patient's rooms and do poetry for the patients. Music therapy, where I would go into the patient's room and DJ for the patient.
Beautiful.
Or just minister to the patient and talk about spiritual things. You can make it, because we dealt with prisoners from Cook County. They would come there. I dealt with gunshot victims, young men who were shot 5, 6, 7 times, and they would be cursing out the nurse and the doctor. Okay, well, let me pull into that entertainment IQ. How you doing? My name is Mr. Hawthorne. Okay, well, cool. What do you like to do? I said, do you like to rap? Yeah, I like to rap. I go get my laptop and I play instrumental beats.
Oh, and let them rap
and just let them rap for 30 minutes. Now, I can't come back tomorrow. If you disrespecting the nurses and disrespecting the doctors, I can't come back.
Now you've got
good behavior.
Dynamic.
Intertwining the whole respect the mic culture into the job.
Good behavior, so I can come back and then I'm able to say, hey, look, you know you can't continue on life like this. You were blessed to still be alive, to be shot 5 times, 6 times. And, you know, don't nobody want to be around nobody where they got to look out to see if something's going to happen to you and something. Come on, man. You got to make some different choices and different decisions. And I'm talking to them, you know, like this, being able to pour into them. Now, these are the things that many people never saw. You know, I got video. but I can't post them because of the
No.
HIPAA violation,
Right,
you know, due to hospital, different things of that sort. But I just hope that, you know, the good work is counted, you know,
Right.
along with the mistakes that I've made along the way.
Nice.
Well, they're not
Yeah.
mistakes if you learn from them. They're just turn into experiences. That's what I always.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
True.
It's the best teacher. God works in mysterious ways. It was 5:25:25. I awoke from a dream at 5:25. I was in New York on tour. My wife lying right next to me, holding me, having no idea that I was awake. Eyes closed, processing this dream. And a poem being conceived in the womb of my mind. It was finally time for me to write about it. Only a select few actually knew what I had been going through. In the dream, I was sharing a personal testimony with a group of people in somebody's basement about my son, my youngest son, Denzel, who had just been locked up. And I can't lie, it has had my mind somewhat messed up. My chest hurts. I've been stressed out. And some of the parents out there who have a son or daughter locked up knows exactly what I'm talking about. Now, whoever I was talking to in my dream, I was sharing with them about my baby. That my baby being locked up just might be a blessing in disguise. And one of them said that I was crazy. I broke it down like this. My firstborn passed away at the age of 15 from cancer. I have another son named Christian, who since the age of 2, I've helped to raise. But after that day, my nuke bomb died. I talked to God and I prayed to never ever let another son be taken away. Losing a child is unbearable. I've lost a sibling and I've lost a parent. But there is no loss on earth equivalent to losing a child, and it's apparent that God works in mysterious ways. The day that I got the call from my son that he had been arrested, I can't say that I was surprised. I sort of expected it. He had been involved in selling drugs, and time after time, I tried to get that boy to stop. But he thought that he was wise in his own eyes, and after the initial shock, it was embarrassing. It was all over the news at first. Then to see the social media posts targeting my child, now that was the worst. On Facebook, they called him Monster. He was charged with drugs and guns. Some said he deserved life. Others said give him the electric chair, but damn it, that's still my son. And now he has to deal with the penalty of the law. It's a hard lesson, but now he knows that no matter how good a game plan is, it still has its flaws. I'm just so glad that I didn't get the call to come and identify his body. Now that's a phone call that nobody, and I mean nobody, wants to receive. And in my heart, I truly believe that God works in mysterious ways. My son being locked up just might be God's way of protecting him. See, when I first got the phone call, things looked real grim. But being locked up wasn't my biggest fear. My biggest fear was somebody setting him up and killing him. The light seemed so dim. Then God reminded me of just what I had asked him, to never ever let me lose another son. I would never be able to see my nuke bomb again or hear his voice at all. But my son Denzel, we text each other 2 to 3 times a week, even video call. I hope that he learns from this. I don't know how long they would keep him, but this would definitely teach him that there's no amount of money on earth worth his freedom. My son may be locked up for a while, but he's still here. And all I keep hearing is God's voice in my ear. You asked me to protect your sons. Isn't that what you prayed? I just thank God in the mighty name of Jesus that my son is still alive. I know where he is. He could have been dead or buried in a grave, but God spares and saves. See, the God that I serve is an awesome and mighty God, and he truly works in mysterious ways.
And then we have DJ Tony Swagger.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. So DJ Tony Swagger. Swagger is spelled SWAAGA. Spoken word and all-around great artist.
Nice.
That is awesome.
DJ Tony
Wow.
Swagger, SWAAGA, spoken word and all around great artist.
I didn't know that one. I'm learning some stuff here.
Right. So, again, bringing that entertainment into the aspect, not just playing music, but playing the crowd, playing the audience, making them sing. Y'all saw me in action, getting them involved, stand up. Let me hear you over here on this side. Let me hear you over there on that side. It's all a part, going back to that entertainment. Poetry is a part of it. Spoken word is a part of it. DJing is a part of it. Hosting is a part of it. Videoing is a part of it. Marketing, promotion, because again, at the end of the day, it's about what you want people to see. Not what happened. What you want people to see. That's why reels are 30 seconds. It's what they want you to see. Sound bites, what they want you to hear. You can control what comes out of your brand. If the video is not good, I can take the MP3 from the video and create a live album. And take 5 different performances that I did at 5 different places, and all you doing is hearing the sound, upload that to SoundCloud. Now you got a live album out. You don't waste no material. You don't waste nothing.
Never. That is
Wow.
That is for sure. Yeah. Let me ask you this: newly found retired life. You got DJ stuff going on. You're out there doing what you do, influencing. What are you intentionally letting influence you right now?
Well, I don't know if I would use that term, what I'm letting influence me right now, because I think my life has been on the path that it's been on for a while, but I am being more strategic in the moves that I am making now. Because I'm older, I don't have much time to recover from mistakes like you used to when you were younger. So I am looking forward to do more national traveling. I'm do more international traveling than I do national travel. So this Friday, I'll be a part of the Montego Bay Music Fest.
Right.
So I'll be live in Jamaica. You heard me.
Yeah, I
with
heard
that
you making travel arrangements. earlier.
So I'll be DJing on the boat, but I'll be performing at the concert. And, and my wife, she'll be hosting. She'll be doing the poolside aerobics because she's a coach. She's an instructor. So I make a way where my wife can get a piece of it and a part of it as well. I'll be live in Green Bay, Wisconsin, July 11th. And I know that's far away, but I wanted to mention that while we were on the show.
Yeah, for sure.
That's
Yeah.
fine.
I'll be there for the Dub Seas Awards. I'll be in Barbados next month. I just came from Houston, right about now, poetry. And so there's a few things that I am working on. I'm working on the new poet anthology book. And of course, we have members in Africa, Ghana. We have members in Jamaica. We have members in Canada and all different places.
I want to
we'll be
interject too, just really quick. As far as the chapter in Ghana, I'm sure you've heard or saw this on social media, but now the Black Panther Cubs have a embassy in Ghana.
Beautiful.
So
See the pieces coming together?
correct. And I was just talking about this with Cyrus, the Taino, one of our poet members. Well, you'll be speaking to
Yeah.
at a different time.
On another show. Yeah.
But I look at these things, as meant to be.
Yes.
Type of situation. Now, when Poet's going to be in the building in Ghana, stuff's going on with the Cubs, Black Panther Cubs, Fred Hampton Jr. There's also from Chicago and all these things that are going on. Can you just imagine the unity that's going to come forth in Ghana between these two organizations of community activism and performing arts? I mean, you have Fred Hampton Jr. doing poetry.
Nice.
And look, and speaking of unity, and I was speaking about the book, I remember James and I were arguing. We weren't really arguing, but we were in disagreement a little bit. And we were talking about the book. And the poet books retail for $29.99. But I put it at that price where you can negotiate, between 20 and 30, depending on who you want to sell it to, whatever. You got room there. But the thing about the poet books is that it's a $150 participation fee, right? You get to put up to 5 poems in the book. You get a picture of you in your poet shirt. your biography, your contact information. So if someone wants to contact you, they can contact you. But how far can your personal book go if you were just pushing it yourself?
As far as I travel.
As far as you travel,
merchant.
right? Well, when our books contain members in Africa, your book is in Africa.
Kingston, Jamaica.
Kingston, Jamaica, your book is in Kingston, Jamaica. Canada, your book is in Canada. You know, and
That's
so
pretty savvy.
I went to Ghana last year,
UK.
and I went to the home of W.E.B. Du Bois. Okay, he pronounces his Du Bois because he wanted to knock off the French side, you know, of
Right.
the sound. And I spoke with those who were at the home, and they said, Black Ice, you have books. Bring your books back here, and we will put them in the personal library of W.E.B. Du Bois, where when people come here to read books out of the library, they will see your poet books here.
Beautiful.
That's
So
powerful.
when we think about, and in exchange for your $150 participation fee, remember the retail of the books are $30 each. You get 5 books. So 5 times 30 is $150. You get
done.
your money back in the books that you have. You know what I'm saying? So in essence, it don't cost you anything. You get 5 people that want to support you, buy your books. But now your work will never die, because as long as your words are in a book, it's different from an album. It's different from audio. You can go to the thrift store right now and pick up a book. The Bible is thousands of years old, but you still pick it up and may read it. Or some other book, you still may pick it up and read it. It's the same thing with books. It makes you live beyond your normal, natural life.
And this is something I want to say as well. Some of the advice that I've gotten from ICE over the years, one that sticks out the most, and I actually spoke on yesterday and used, the only time you need to think, to be a poet is when you're writing your poetry and when you're performing your
say that?
poetry, and everything else is business.
That's right.
So that sounds superficial because you don't think, the art should have business attached to it, and stuff like that. This is a culture, this is therapy. But, well, even therapists make money, have to pay bills, have to have money to help out whatever cause you may want to help out. Now if you're making money and you ain't putting it back into the cause in which you believe in and that you're talking about and that you're preaching about, that's giving you, your name and your status, well then you're ignorant and you're selfish and you're a culture vulture. And I just, I spoke on that because I heard that influence in what he was just speaking. With the poet anthology, that's business.
Right.
That's the mind of a businessman. But that is moving the chess pieces throughout the board that makes up the world.
Well, we talk a lot about in the United States not valuing art enough. And I hear artists from other countries have an easier time making a living at it. And in this country, don't value art enough. It's a real struggle for people like James, who are full-time artists, to make a living doing it. And we need to turn that around. We need to turn that mentality in the whole country around.
And let me give you a little bit of this too. This was a homework assignment that I gave him a long time ago, and this is something that I would give you all. See, the white boys who play in bands,
Okay.
and it seems like that's all they do, but they're able to live, they're able to eat and everything like that. What I found out during my research is that, see, I am a member of BMI
Okay.
and ASCAP.
Okay.
Right? You publish your poems on BMI and ASCAP
Right.
as a performer. So when you go and perform your poems at the places you perform, you can report that to BMI and they will pay you. Just like the jukeboxes play songs
Yes.
in these different places and in these different venues. See, these are things that we're not even taking advantage of. As money left on the table.
Oh, so
You
they're
take
built in.
You take your poems, you copy the lyrics of your poems, you put that in the BMI under the title, and when you report, hey, I performed this song or this poem at this place. I performed this at this place. You put it on there, they will cut you a check as a performing artist with BMI. BMI, I'm not familiar with ASCAP as I am with BMI. But yeah, you could do that.
And the other thing that they'll do for you is they will back you up if someone steals your shit.
Yeah.
They'll
Yeah.
back you up for that. Yeah,
ASCAP's big on that.
for sure. Before I forget, I shout out Ike Boat, right?
Ike
We're
Boat.
talking
yes,
about
Ike
Ghana, so we
Boat,
got to
baby.
say
Ghana.
that. Poet member Ike Boat, shout out for sure. So normally on the show, and I normally bring it up in the beginning, but is that when I curate two guests, we have a segment we call the common thread. Today, we only planned on having one guest, and we went into that
But
early
am I
on.
considered a
Just-
second guest
Well,
or a half a
you
guest?
consider
Sure,
I
acting
can
like
even-
one.
you consider to drop in. 'Cause, you know, even though I knew you were coming, we didn't really, you know, it wasn't planned. So we normally have a common thread between the two guests that I curate to come on the show. Today we had one. So today the common thread is between Black Ice and myself.
Oh,
So do you want to take a guess at what it is?
okay. This sounds like pejorative or slang, but I mean it in the highest way.
Mm-hmm.
You both have your hustle on.
Okay.
You both work it hard for what you do for your art form and to make your art form pay off as a living. You know, you talked about the white boys who were singing. Nobody begrudges them making a living at rock and roll or whatever their art form
That's right.
is.
That's right.
Right? You guys have your hustle on. That's my guess.
Okay. You want to take a whack at it?
I'm going to say traveling entertainers and influencers.
Okay. Rachel, the engineer, 2 E's. Do you want to take a whack at it?
So I actually read the script, so I think that would be cheating.
We've got a ringer in the room.
So I was hoping she would say that. So I'm just going to put that out there. We've got 12 more
Honesty.
episodes to go this season. Paul Savvy Magoo, you have to read at least one script.
Oh, come on. I don't
At
read.
least one, at least
I've
one.
never learned how to read.
That's true. All right. Ice, you want to take a guess what the common thread? Now, I will qualify it like I usually do and say it's cooked up in my own head. So
Right.
it could be something like
Right.
off the wall crazy.
That's happened.
I don't know. We both wear 2 earrings. Mine's just on one side. Mine's just on one side. Of course, we both bald on the sides.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't think nobody compares to this guy. What he do, man. He's this guy
And
right
I
here.
feel the same way that way.
It's getting deep in here.
So I'm gonna tell a little story, and
only got
because
bands
this
on.
is really I thought it was unique. So I mentioned before that I was on Brother O Poet Radio, his show,
Correct.
and Ice had come on there, read his elevator piece, and I said the king of poetry. And he corrected me, rightfully so. But I thought the way that
I
you
know
said
where
it
this is
was really cool. He said, I'm not the king of poetry. Could you tell our verse
Yes.
listeners?
So the is the definite article.
Right.
And when you put the in front of a title, it means you're the only one.
Exclusive.
Exclusive. And so with respect for those who came before me, with respect of those who are currently here, I never used the term the in front of king of poetry.
Okay.
I just used the word king of poetry, Black Ice. And if you see it right here,
Yes.
it's the same way.
Beautiful.
It's a way of me establishing my poetic royalty, but also humbling myself to let everybody else know that I don't feel like I'm the only one. There's
Acknowledging the
others
rest.
acknowledging the rest. Yeah.
Beautiful.
I mean, how is that not? You know, what we're talking about here is the selflessness of this artist. It's just,
Yeah.
you know, I thought it was so profound. So the common thread today
Yeah.
is kings. Is we are kings.
Yeah.
We're all kings.
Oh.
We're all kings in our own right in what we do. That's the common thread.
Wow.
You're a king too.
Monarchs.
Rachel, the engineer, is definitely a king.
Oh, right.
Well,
the
no,
king
she's
of
more,
that board.
She's more important than a king.
The
She's a
woman
queen.
king.
Yeah.
She's a queen.
She
Queens wear the
she
weight
made me
of-
sound good last season, so I'm just gonna
Right.
say, she can do that. She might be a miracle worker.
Queens
Right.
wear the weight of a king. They wear the
So-
weight of a king, so they're more important than the king, in my opinion.
True.
The name of this piece right here is called Somewhere Between High and By. Somewhere between high and by, we met, we spoke, we touched, we kissed, we loved, we walked away. Against all odds, we came together. From two different worlds, we never thought that. That love bug would bite so hard until we caught that. And when I caught it, I lied to myself, so I fought it. Assessed the emotional stress and found that it just didn't match. So I got audited. Somewhere between high and by, we gave in to the lust of the flesh and skin. And it led me to being more than just friends. See, baby, you became the reason why my seasons changed. The easing of my aches and pains. The stimulant to my brain, the sound to my voice. Every time that I spoke your name. We both follow the rules and regulations of this life. I accepted a gift in you, and all I wanted in return was for you to accept all of me. Besides, you allowed me to see another side of me that was hidden. Although forbidden, you inspired me to write some things that I wrote that had never before been written. And you relieved my stress. You are my calm after the storm, my peace in the midst of confusion. See, baby, you came and made sense out of all this mess. Somewhere between high and by, you made me feel like Black Ice was never alone. Always made me feel wanted and offset all the complaining at home. In those tears you dropped for me, I tried my best to catch me. I never wanted to make you feel neglected, respected your feelings. And your emotions, I tried my best to protect them. But we were past the point of no return. And that's when I learned how quick on this highway of love, how you can take a wrong turn. And now I'm concerned about your hurt. My conscience is telling me that I'm a part of the pain as a result of doing dirt. I'm thinking maybe I should just leave your ass alone. And maybe I should just work on building what I already have at home. Somewhere between high and by. Things ended up real serious when they all started out as fun. But baby, pulling away from you will prove to be much easier said than done, because now you're agitated, and with every little disagreement you act real aggravated, because somewhere between high and by we both created a love out of lies, and now realize that life and love is only what you make it. In the beginning, I just wish we could have put this shit on disc and saved it. But now everything is twisted and turned upside down. And that beautiful smile you used to have is turned into a frown. And I'm thinking, where did we go wrong? Did we try to suppress a love that was too strong? Did we cross that line beyond friends? Did we extend what we had too long? Damn. If I can only write a silly love poem, I would write it all about you. Somewhere between high and by, we both walked away. And even though we both wanted to stay, the price would have been too high for both of us to pay. Because with each brick we built, it would have been layered with lies, covered by our friends, bearing false witnesses and false statements and false alibis. Besides, the right and wrong choices are made based on the way you choose them. But you better be damn sure that the same way you get somebody is the same way you lose them. Maybe next lifetime. And maybe our reasons, they just ran out of rhyme. Somewhere between high and by, we met, we spoke, we touched, we kissed, we loved, we walked away.
So the final thing that we do is the last word for the guest, and then that is at some point here over the last, I don't know when we first talked about you coming on or whatever, but there's that thing that comes in your head, say, when I get on the radio with James, I'm going to say this. So the floor is all yours. You get the last word on the show, whatever you want to say to the listeners of Verse, to us in the studio, to the world at large.
Yes.
Black Ice has the last word.
Well, first of all, I want to thank you all for inviting me here, man. This is very special and near and dear to my heart. That's why when you invited me, I didn't hesitate. I said, man, whatever you want, whatever you need, I'm here and I'm down. I appreciate the support that you all have given the National Spoken Word Awards and Poet. Of course, inspiration for coming, Miss Rachel. I hope that this interview today was meaningful for you and your time. Thank you so much. I want to say to those who are out there that I don't consider myself a religious man at all, but I do consider myself a spiritual man. Whatever creator you call on or call upon, that's you and your business or whatever the case might be, right? Now, I am a Hebrew Israelite, and that is my lineage, that is my legacy, and I understand the way the universe works. I understand the way the creator set up this universe to work. And so you have a choice to think positive thoughts or negative thoughts. Everything has a positive and a negative to it. And even today, when some extension cords, they put a ground to it. So when you're humble and you can stay grounded, you can stay positive. But if you're not humble and if you're not grounded, then it is easier to open up the door for the negativity. Ooh. Whatever you think, you can will it into existence. If you wake up every morning, every day and say, I'm going to be the best at what I do. I'm going to be the greatest version of me. Don't concern yourself with anyone else and what anyone else is doing and how they're doing it. Focus on being the greatest you that you can be, whatever that is. And along the way, try to step to the side a little bit and make room on your stage for other people to shine. You're not losing anything with allowing other people to shine. Actually, you're gaining more than you could ever lose by allowing other people to shine. And it's not about you at the end of the day, because you at some point will no longer exist. But what is inside of you that you allow to be birthed into the world and to exist in the world for the purposes of helping other people along their way, then your living is not in vain.
I got nothing else to add to that. Amen to that. Full stop. Thank you, Blaq Ice, for coming on Versed and sharing everything that you shared today and just being the artist that you are, the authentic DeAndre, whether it's DeAndre Hawthorne or DJ Tony Swagger or Blaq Ice. Or Ice Cold, the Ultimate Warrior. I had to
nice
throw.
memory.
I did. I had to throw that in.
Well
You know, I was
done.
going to go there only because of this. You got. I made it through the whole show without mentioning Rick Rubin. I'm going to say that.
Oh, we came close, though.
But another huge fan of professional wrestling, Rick Rubin, myself, Blaq Ice. That could have been a common thread right there.
Right.
It could have. But it wasn't. Thank you for coming on and sharing everything with us, and just for doing what you do. And happy retirement.
Thank you.
Definitely. Thanks for Eye Inspiration, for Paul Savvy Magoo Goddard, the cultural icon. He's graduated. Rachel the engineer with 2 E's. And from the basement of the Mendelssohn Center for the Performing Arts in Rockford, Illinois, the rest of the production team here at Versed and WBOM Full Service Radio. I am James Hamilton signing off until next time. Peace out. Peace. Excellent job.
Hi, this is Eye Inspiration. Here I'm going to give you some of my original poetry. Trapped inside these walls, and I'm the one that built them. Lost inside these walls, left the keys I misplaced after I placed them on the same table where I normally place them. Now I'm screaming inside these walls, and I'm the only one that heard them. No ceiling attached to these walls. I swear there's people outside of these walls. I know I heard them. I forgot my tools outside of these walls. And I ain't put no windows or no doors in. I'm playing bloody knuckles. Oh, Lord, I built these walls good. I know there's people outside of these walls. They just want to keep me trapped in. They're scared of the knowledge that I'm giving, the game that I'm teaching, the people that I'm reaching. 13 years of age, and I'm motivating my daughter to put her all in. Speaking to her mind through mind, thinking to mind like a mind, speaking into these walls like a mime. Manifesting her dreams like they're mine. Guiding her through her nightmares, 'cause they're mine. staring at these walls eye to eye because they're mirror mine, trying to burn a hole up in these walls like I got laser eyes, tapping into my third eye, trying to remember how to climb with these spidey senses floating around inside my mind. Watch me as I soar above these walls of mine. No cap on mine. I am inspiration beyond and time. I am inspiration and time.